Hello and welcome back to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is Marquee, the fresh, well-dressed, shoot you in the chest LLC Attacker. I worked very hard on that rhyme. I hope you appreciate it. So, what's on the agenda for today? 3 things. Number 1, why do all the presenters at E3 suck at public speaking? Number 2, rhetoric in the gaming community. This is a big one, you're going to want to hear it. But before we talk about those 2 things, we've got to talk about Marquee, the gentleman sniper. Battleborn has Marquee classified as a territorial sniper. That definition is completely accurate, but I'm also fond of considering him a traditional sniper. Equipped with a rifle for long-range engagements, a pistol for when things get too close for comfort, and a number of tools to deny enemies that want a piece of that robot butler himself, Marquee feels almost exactly like sniper classes we've grown to love in other games. Marquee's first ability is Temporal Distortion. After a brief activation period, Marquee creates a field that slows enemies that pass through it for a short duration. His second ability is Predatory Strike. He summons a robotic owl that patrols an area. If an enemy passes through, the owl will lock onto the target and attempt to suicide bomb them. If the enemy is hit, they will be revealed on the map. Up to 3 owls can be active at once. Marquee's primary weapon is the Battleborn. The primary fire for this weapon is a 6-round pistol. The secondary fire activates the scope and the sniper rifle portion of the weapon, and shares the same 6-round magazine. Marquee's passive ability is 1-2 die. Shots with the Battleborn mark targets. The third consecutive shot on a target deals 50% bonus damage. Okay, we're back in action. Let's get this party started. You already know how this thing goes at this point. You've seen all the other videos. Well, maybe you haven't, so let's see how it starts. It starts with Waste Makes Haste. In addition to slowing enemies' temporal distortion, now hasten allies, increasing their movement speed by 30%. Now, there's more to talk about Marquee, but before we do that, let's take a look at the teams. My team is Miko, Alani, Oscar Mike, Toby, and myself as Marquee. The enemy team is Umbra, Oscar Mike, Isaac, Thorn, and Marquee. So we've actually got a bit of a mirror in composition. The enemy team has a similar ranged capability to our team, so it's going to be really a battle of who can get those precision ranged attacks on the enemy team more consistently, and hopefully it'll be my team, and hopefully we'll pick up the win on this one. So here we go. We're starting off big. Marquee. What's the deal with Marquee? He's a traditional sniper. So what does that mean? Well, if you've played Call of Duty, you know that means you sit back and you snipe. If you've watched military documentaries, you sit back, you're on the back lines, and you're picking off fools that are running in big open corridors and whatnot. So if you've played other video games where there are snipers, then you probably already know how to play Marquee, and you're probably really good at him already, or you'll be good at him if you just pick him up. But if you've never played a sniper class, sort of grasping those ideals in Battleborn might be a little tricky, and we're already seeing that just impressive ability for me to miss attacks. My aim is not that great. I'm not that great of a sniper, but we're going to see. Hopefully my accuracy will improve as the match goes on. And I'm already putting down some serious fire on Isaac. Snipers have a tremendously easy time hitting large targets in Battleborn. The size of the enemy makes them easier to hit. That's just something really cool about Battleborn. Big characters, they have strengths and they have weaknesses as well. And we see Toby is actually going to get sniped by the enemy Marquis. So we've actually got a bit of a sniper competition going on. If I can out-snipe their snipers, ooh, that'll be good for us, but if I can't, then that's going to be bad for us. And it looks like there's a bit of an engage going on as well. I'm going to put down that slowing field. It's going to hasten up Alani, so she's going to make her escape, and I'm going to lay down some fire on Umbra. And look at that, got that headshot. That's what it's all about, getting that big damage on, making people uncomfortable. Oh, this is a tense situation. I don't know how I feel about Alani going in there, but I do know how I feel about Isaac sort of overextending. He's a huge target, and I can probably, if I didn't suck so much, I probably would have killed him. Actually, that's unfortunate for me, but what are you gonna do? Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Now, so one thing you'll notice is that I'm staying as far away from the action as I can while still being able to actually hit people, because if you get too close, people are going to eat your face. Like Marquee, he cannot fight on the front lines. He's got that pistol, but it's really just a last resort. His pistol actually does apply his passive effect, so you can use it to get some bonus damage, but once again, it's just not his main source of damage. And here we go, Whodunit. English is my first language, people. So now the predatory strike owls are on the battlefield cloaked. Without this Helix augmentation, the owls are completely visible and can be destroyed by enemy players. So I like to take that to ensure that they at least surprise somebody. So they're gonna be a little bit more effective. And it looks like Oscar Mike is gonna activate his cloak, but I do have that 1, 2, 3 mark still on him, so I am gonna pick up the kill in the end. He tried to be a little bit sneaky, but it's not gonna work. And now I'm in a pretty good situation actually to get some damage off, possibly destroy that accelerator. The enemy Marquis is kind of staring me down. Looks like I'm not going to end up killing the accelerator because I don't want to be that close to the enemy team. That's something you really got to be conscious of when you're playing Marquis, is how close you are to the enemy team. You get in too close, they're going to chop that ass up. Okay? Now, before we continue, we're going to take a look at the gear real quick. We've got shards per second, attack damage, and reload speed. The reload speed allows you to reload that small magazine a little bit faster. Attack damage is going to make every shot that you land do a little bit more damage. Shards per second, I have that item just so I don't have to go collect as much. I can stay on the battlefield a little bit longer without having to worry about going back. And it looks like I got a kill right there, shooting people in the chest. That's what it's all about. Headshots are nice, but when you can't get them in the head, just shoot them in the chest. They'll go down just fine. That's very powerful. Now, something that I like to do with the Houdini owls is put them in areas where the enemy is potentially going to flank. Because if they're coming in from the side and they get hit with that Houdini, they're going to be like, ow, maybe I should go back. Maybe I shouldn't actually flank right now. So it gives them something to think about when they're flanking. It makes them scared. Now let's talk about the next Helix augmentation. It's all coming so fast. Executive barrel porting. This is going to reduce your recoil by 60%. This is going to make it a little bit easier for you to land those shots. And every time you take a shot, the recoil, it moves your reticle off the target and makes it a little bit harder. But when you reduce that recoil, it's just a little bit easier to stay on target. And I know this question is going to come up. Why do I zoom in and out so frequently? It's a bad habit, and it's never going to change. I do it. I've done it in other games like Gears of War and Call of Duty and whatnot, and now it's just a habit. But in some ways, it's a good habit because it does give you vision of the rest of the battlefield. It looks like I picked up another kill. Isaac was being a little bit too brave, getting too big for his robo britches right there. He was extending. His team was not backing him up. They were like, we're not about that life. But I was about that life, getting those shots in the chest. That's what it's all about. But going back to the zooming in and out thing, it may be a little bit annoying to watch. I respect that. But we actually did pick up another kill, and it looks like I'm actually going to have to run. Somebody is chasing me, so I'm going to put down the temporal distortion in my path, so if she does decide to follow me, she's going to get slowed, and she's not going to get anywhere with that. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Holding on to that temporal distortion for when you need to run away if you're, in a position where you might get compromised. But right, vision of the battlefield. Every time you zoom out, you gain more vision of the battlefield. When you're zoomed in, it's like a tunnel. And it looks like Thorn is actually trying to pressure us a little bit, but she definitely is not willing to fully commit because I took out that pistol. I said, pat, pat, pat. Girl, you better get back before I bust you up. And there we go. That's the real question. Would Marquis be cooler if he was Jamaican? I don't know the answer to that question, but I think it would be kind of fun to think about. And here we go, putting that third Houdini down in the same spot. So now if an enemy comes and decides to flank us, number one, those owls are going to surprise the hell out of them. Number two, they're going to do a lot of damage. They're going to get dookie blasted by the triple Houdini nest. That is a roost right there. They're going to get killed by the roost. That's what you got to do with the Houdinis. You create a little roost. Somebody comes by, they're going to get shit all over their face. Granted, it's going to be owl shit, so it's not going to be that messy. But regardless, it's going to be doo-doo. And don't nobody want doo-doo on their face. All right, and here we go. So I neglected to mention, we are actually playing Incursion on the Echelon map. This is not a map that people play very often. Wait a minute, we can't really talk about that right now because Thorn is coming and I don't have my temporal distortion anymore because I already used it, and I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to pull away from her because, you know what, I don't want to fight her on her terms. I don't want to fight where she wants to fight. I want to fight where my team can come help me if I need the assistance. But as of right now, it doesn't look like I need it because I do have her on the run. She is retreating back to her healing station. Are we gonna hit it? No, we're not gonna hit it. We almost got that 1-2-3 proc. It is unfortunate that we didn't. It looks like she's gonna give up this fight because I definitely had a bit of an edge. Marquee can definitely out-snipe Thorn, but when Thorn starts to get into those higher levels and she starts to augment her Helix a little bit more, she can definitely outplay him pretty significantly. But, you know, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully I can utilize the range of my sniper rifle, the precision, and just the raw damage output that Marquee has to my advantage throughout this game. Here we go. That accelerator is down finally, and it looks like Isaac is on the field once again, but he's using that Aegis. He's using that shield to protect himself, and it looks, I'm sniping everybody, man. I'm all over the place. People see me now. I'm actually probably in a dangerous position. I see Thorn on the minimap. She's coming for me, so I'm going to put down that temporal distortion and run through it again, get that movement speed bonus. So if she does decide to come through, she's going to get slowed, and I've already been sped up. So I'm gone, girl. I'm gone, girl. Isn't that a movie? That might be a movie. But we might have to change the title to Gone Isaac because he is about to get shit on his face from the Bindle Bane. And wait a minute, actually, I'm actually in a bad situation here. I'm definitely going to have to retreat. Miko is following me back, giving me those heals, and that's what it's all about. Okay, and I do apologize for saying the S word so much. I think I'm cursing a little bit too much. I do apologize for that. Try not to curse too much. I curse a lot in my personal life. Try not to do it too much in game. And here we go. Looks like Umbra has definitely overextended. Her team was not ready to commit to this situation, and it's time to give her that bump, bump, and then one more shot in the back. Somebody else picked up the kill, so that's good enough for me. That's all that matters. And here we go. It's time to pick up another ability, big time. This is going to increase the area of effect radius of temporal distortion by 25%. So now it's going to be a little bit easier to catch people in that bubble. It's going to give you a huge advantage in team fights where you can cover a massive area and just completely shut people down, especially melee targets. If the enemy team has a lot of melee and they're coming in, put that temporal distortion down and they will get ruined. And Isaac, ooh, is he going to go down? No, he's not. He's going to escape because I needed to reload. That is very unfortunate. And wait a second. We almost had a little bit of a sniper battle going on, but the enemy Marquis did fall back behind that cover. He was peeking over those stairs a little bit. And I'm trying to utilize the flanks as much as possible. And that's something that the enemy Marquis is definitely not doing. He's not utilizing the entire map to his advantage, and that's something you definitely want to do as Marquee. Another thing you want to do as Marquee, you want to take out big minions. Small minions, you don't have to worry too much about them, but big minions, because you can burst them down so quickly with shots in their critical spots, it's very important that you do that. The small ones, leave that to somebody else with some, you know, better AoE damage. And here we go. We actually got a real sniper fight going on. Am I going to be able to pick up the kill? No. That is very unfortunate. If I landed a headshot, he would have gone down. That's terribly unfortunate that I didn't get that. But wait a second. Isaac is coming back out. Are we going to be able to get that? No, he's going to put up those rotating wards. He's going to protect himself from the final blow. Just so many missed opportunities. It's very unfortunate. Better put that on Craigslist. That's a misconnection right there. Misconnection from that bullet. Okay, I gotta stop doing that. That fake Jamaican accent is probably offensive. I'm not gonna stop though. I'm gonna do it a couple more times. So here we go. Taking those shards again. I'm definitely controlling the flow of the shards for this particular game. There's only one middle shard in the echelon on the echelon map. I don't know. On the echelon map, there's only one large shard in the middle. So if you can control the flow of those shards, you can get a big advantage over the enemy team. They're not going to be able to build minions as often as they would like to. So this map is definitely a little bit more difficult to play because there are more choke points. It has more places for snipers to go around and flank, and that's something, once again, that the enemy Marquis is not taking advantage of. He's not really using those flanks. He's not using the structure of the map to his advantage, whereas the overgrowth map is a little bit more straightforward. You always kind of know where the sniper is going to come from. It's a little bit more flat, a little bit less dynamic. So I definitely actually prefer this map, but people don't vote for it as enough, not nearly enough. It's a very fun map to play on, very dynamic, and it allows characters that don't shine as much on overgrowth to have a place. Like a character like Caldarius, he doesn't, in my opinion, play that well on overgrowth. But on Echelon, it's just such a large map. It's got these really long, flat areas where he can make use of his mobility exceptionally well. And then characters like Marquis, they excel even more on this particular map because there are just so many different places to go. You can be a real sniper. You can hide. You can juke people. You can just be places where nobody knows where the hell the bullets are coming from. And that's what a sniper's all about. That's a really cool thing you can do right there. So I'm doing a little bit of base management, picking up those thralls and a giant minion, doing a little bit of construction. And here we go. We're picking up another ability, Efficiency Expert. 1/2 die is now going to activate on the second shot instead of the third. So this is just going to make it a little bit easier to get your passive to proc. I take that for the simple fact that my aim is bad and I have a hard time hitting 3 shots on the same person. So, you know, if I can hit 2 shots on them, then I'm going to get that passive ability to proc, and that's going to be better for me. So it really boils down to a preference thing with that ability. The alternative is to increase the damage of 1/2 die, so that the third shot is going to do 75% bonus damage as opposed to 50%. So as you can see, both are advantageous in their own way. Once again, because my aim is notoriously bad, I go for the 1/2. It'd be the 1 die, the one and dead, I guess it is now. Okay. So here we go. Once again, we actually got 1 point of damage on the enemy sentry. So if this match does happen to last for another 17 minutes and 44 seconds, we are going to come out on top because we did get 1 point of damage on the enemy sentry. But we definitely don't want it to be like that. We don't want to have a long game for no reason. So we're going to keep pushing ahead. The enemy team is trying to hold us back. Thorn is putting that blight on the floor, but it's not good enough with this plane overhead. When you're playing as Marquis, though, a blight is not going to stop my sniper rifle because it has such a long range. You can definitely outrange the sentry. You can just pew-pew that thing from relative safety, and that's always a good thing. So we're definitely getting some fire down on that sentry. It's going down slowly but surely. It's at about 78% health at this point. The enemy team, if they want to survive, they're going to have to push out. And it looks like Isaac is actually trying to do that. He's got a Shepherd minion wave with him, and that's definitely going to beef him up. He's going to put up those rotating wards as well. But once again, they're not going to be enough. I'm going to use my ultimate ability, shoot that blast down at him, and he is going to go down. My team is going to focus him out, and that is very good for us. Their tank is down, so now we can take this opportunity to push forward and possibly destroy their first sentry. This is actually looking pretty good for us. Once again, picking off those giant minions. Look at that, just hit that critical spot and the thing just completely explodes. Boom, dead. And there we go. I'm putting another owl on that field. So if I run into that corner, if somebody starts chasing me, they're going to go down because there's a little bit of a roost right there. And it looks like Ambra's here. It looks like she going to... No, the owls didn't see her. That's unfortunate. And I'm trying to bait her into the owls, but I don't think this is going to work. Gave her a little bit of a smack there. But damn, that's very unfortunate. I definitely bit off more than I could chew. But we see now Marquis is a very squishy character. And that is the biggest disadvantage to playing him. When you get caught out in a place where you shouldn't be, then you're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get messed up, man. You're gonna get messed up by even characters without a tremendously high amount of DPS. You're just gonna get chewed out. And here we go. My team is actually going to get another kill. So we've got 2 enemies down. Alani is dead on my team, but we do have Miko on the heals as well. So really, it doesn't matter. That's one of the benefits to having 2 healers. You do have a little bit more safety, a little bit more sustainability. You do lose out in the damage department, but yeah, it's a trade-off, pros and cons to each one, and at this point, it's looking like having 2 healers is paying off for us, especially having Miko and Alani. Alani has incredible burst healing abilities. Miko has incredible sustained healing. She can keep people alive almost indefinitely. You know, if you retreat, Miko, boop, 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 touch you up, get right back on the battlefield, and then if there's a serious encounter going on, somebody's taking a lot of damage, boom, Alani will drop those big heals on people. So it's a very good balance that we have for us. Whereas the enemy team, they just have Alani. So, Alani, they just have Umbra. And Umbra's healing ability is not as strong as either of them. So, it's an interesting dynamic that we've got going on. And it looks like it's playing to the advantage of us right now. And here we go. Thorn... Not going to pick up the kill on her. That's unfortunate. I am taking a little bit of damage, but now we're seeing that burst healing from Alani. She's just going to top me right back off, so I feel confident in my ability to stay on the battlefield. That's definitely a good thing, and that's the benefit of a healer. You don't have to have a healer to win. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, healers are great. So if you have one, that's nice too. So here we go. The next ability, Parliamentary, my dear. You can have 2 additional owls on the field. So now you can create a roost of up to 5 owls, which I'm pretty sure will instant kill the squishier characters if they walk into it. So if a Miko happens to wander past all 5 predatory owls, they will get destroyed. I haven't created a new roost as of yet because I don't think I'm going to need to, because we've got the enemy team pushed up so far. We're just laying down fire on the sentry. I'm going to put up an owl right there, so if they do happen to chase after us, if they push us forward, that owl is going to, you know, do a little bit of damage to them while we are on the run. It's not going to give any crowd control, but it is just going to do some damage and potentially help us out, potentially scare them off, make them less willing to commit to something. And here we go, Amber being super aggressive once again. She doing too much. Girl, what you doing? I gotta give you that pap in the back of the head. That's not real. That's not real. I gotta stop. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna do it one more time before it's over. It's just so fun. It's just so much fun. And here we go. The enemy team is actually doing something that's definitely not recommended in any sort of first-person shooter type game, and they're trickling in. They're coming in one at a time. They're just trying to do this last defense. They're trying to win. They're trying to come out on top. It's definitely not a good idea, especially when Marquis on the field. Rough. I'm just mixing up all types of, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But what I do know, because I know that last thing that I just said was just not accurate at all. But what I do know is the sentry is going down because I'm laying down the fire on it, and so is the rest of my team. There we go. It's done. And we have a huge advantage at this point. We've got a lot of momentum. I'm picking up some shards. I'm picking up another ability. Bang for the buck. This is going to increase the damage of the rifle by 18%. The alternative is to increase the reload speed and the attack speed. Both are very valuable, but for me, I'm not so much worried about how fast I can get the shots going down range. I'm worried about how accurately I can get them down range. So if I can actually land those hits, they're going to do more damage. So attack speed, if you can land your hits very accurately, then more attack speed is going to get you kills quicker. But if you can't land those hits that well, like myself, and you just want to make sure that times that you do hit do a lot of damage, go for that damage boost. That's what it's all about. And here we go. Looks like my team is actually in a bad situation here. I tried to speed up Toby and slow down the enemy, but it wasn't enough. He did get chewed out by Isaac. That is unfortunate, but I'm staying. I'm giving him a little bit of the blah, blah. Okay, that's the last one for real. I promise you that's the last one. And there we go. Isaac is going to go down. And it looks like we might actually be able to get a final push because there are 3 enemies dead at this point. So I'm concentrating my fire on the minions, trying to harass players just a little bit, and that's what it's all about with Marquee. I think this is actually coming to an end because somebody else just died. Yeah, it's done. It's done. There's no way they can come back from this. We've got 4 people alive. They've got 2. I'm just suppressing the hell out of Thorn. She is basically dead. If she doesn't retreat at this point, she's going down. Gonna put up another predatory owl. That's just adding insult to injury. Looks like my team sees somebody. The 2 healers are doing something over here. I'm gonna take out that sniper. Looks like I'm landing that critical. Looks like I'm switching. Look at that. Ridiculous. That. No. They need to, no. That was too much. That's what happens when Marquis is not being pressured by enemies. He just has that free reign. And as it turns out, I've won the sniper battle. The enemy team, the surrender vote is going to go out. That was a nice match. I enjoyed that a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So here we go. The name of the game is Battleborn. It's a great game. The channel is iBluairJgR Game for Comedy. The map is Echelon. The game mode is Incursion. The order for that was all messed up. But either way, once again, iBluairJgR Game for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.